What's poppin', Ghost Force? It's the one and only Ghosty here, welcoming you to day 2 of our wait for the precious, the mystifying, and spectral spectacle Ghost Eevee. Now, I touched up on some of my past and figured, hey, why not give you a brief little story of my time playing Pokemon Gold and Silver? Mainly Silver, not really Gold. But before I go into storyteller mode, make sure you drop a like if you enjoy or enjoyed the content. Leave a comment, I'll always answer, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't for more Ghost Eevee shenanigans and or cool vids I have planned for the channel. Now, where should I begin? Why not with the first Pokemon game I played, basically. The first game I ever played was a copy of Pokemon Blue for the Game Boy Color. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That green Game Boy Color that everyone had. I mean, I had a green one. I don't know about you, but I had a green one. I didn't beat it, nor did I even know what the hell to do in the game. But I got up to Brock with a Squirtle and got smashed because I wasn't aware of type advantages at that time. I managed to get past him though, and I got as far as Lieutenant Surge and just died over and over and over and over again because his Raichu's OP. Plus, I had Squirtle, so it kept fucking destroying me. If I knew speedrunning was a thing back then I would have attempted it, but with more knowledge, of course, considering I was a complete noob. I was a little kid. Come on, man. Anyways, I did say my first game ever was Silver version. And I'm counting that as my first Pokemon full experience because not only did I get it as a gift from my neighbors, but yeah, I actually beat the game. By the way, the kid that was my neighbor had both versions. He had gold and silver. And I remember the reason why he gave me silver was because he said the games are both the same, except they're not actually the same. Because if you're a Pokemon fan, you know one has Lugia and one has Ho-Oh. Not only that, but there are some differences here and there, considering Pokemon you can catch in each version. During this time, also, you had the new type, Dark type, which was super awesome. So that's another perk because some of the Dark types did not appear in the other version. So at this time, around the 2000s, I was heavily invested in the Pokemon franchise, so much so I had Pokemon cards, got a gift from my mother, that being the Nintendo 64, and I played the hell out of Stadium and then eventually Stadium 2. But that's a little bit in the future, right? To this day, I remember my mother telling me how weird some of the Pokemon were. I'm looking at you, Slowbro, and Jinx. She told me that it was overly sexualized because of how the shelter that clamps onto Slowbro's tail looked real suspicious, like a lot suspicious there. Okay, so my mother was quite a was and still is a quite overprotective kind of mother, and there was a reason for it. Like I mentioned in the last video, we lived in the projects, and she just didn't want me and my two little sisters to grow up being like those around us, those people, those idiots. Luckily, I grew up to be quite a fantastic man, and my sisters grew up to be great mothers. Anyways, I remember playing Silver version, and absolutely falling in love with the game. The game's music was phenomenal. The gameplay itself was awesome. The art was great. Dark types were so cool. Let's talk about it because we kind of have to, right? The Sylveon and not Espeon, not Sylveon. Fuck it. Umbreon and Sylveon. Why do I keep saying Sylveon? Umbreon and Espeon. There we go. Umbreon and Espeon. Those two were introduced as well, and that was just amazing. At that point, I did not realize that, hey, Eevee could probably evolve into a new version of a different type. Didn't give it a thought, but this was the first moment that Pokemon revealed a new typing, right? Dark type, and gave Eevee an evolution for that typing. We'll see that later in the future with Sylveon, right? That's why it was on my mind. But anyways, my starter in silver was Cyndaquil. I don't remember the first Cyndaquil nickname I ever had, but I definitely remember my adventures with it. I remember getting completely stomped by Whitney and then later getting destroyed by Claire. I don't know why I kept attacking with fire attacks on dragon types, but whatever. I managed to beat the 8 gyms and brought my team to the Elite 4 where I defeated them all as well. I was then stunned to see that Lieutenant Surge came back to haunt me. Only this time, I was prepared. A little side note here. I grew up really liking Raichu's design. Raichu was so cool. Seeing it in the anime, the way it was like bullying other Pokemon, specifically Pikachu, and then the way it sounded, it was so cool. And then playing against it, I felt it, right. Like I already experienced it from the anime, and then playing it in the game was like, oh damn, this thing is scary. But yeah, I was prepared, as I mentioned. I beat it. I was so satisfied. Anyways, my mind was blown when I saw the game continue after the champion, right? I was like, what the heck? What is going on? The game's not finished? I mean, what? So I continued my journey, making sure to completely beat the game. Granted, back then the computer or internet usage in a poor neighborhood was quite lacking, so I may have missed a lot of cool items and or Pokemon, but in the end I enjoyed the overall experience. It was at that moment that I realized I was hooked for life. My creativity skyrocketed, and I can't lie, but Pokemon helped me live through such poverty. Music, Pokemon, anime, wrestling, games, and bonding with my sisters helped me cope with a situation I didn't know I was in up until I grew up and, started gathering this information. Anyways, not to sound sappy, but if it wasn't for Pokemon and all the things I enjoyed growing up, I don't think I'd be the person I am today. It's such a big part of my life, much like Marvel is and wrestling was. I remember having Pokemon Red and trying to trade with a friend outside with the link cable. I remember what I got from I don't remember what I got from him. Not that I remember. I don't remember. But I know the link didn't work at some point. I don't know, maybe it was just we were just doing it wrong. Anyways, at this point, I had the clear purple Game Boy after I had lost my green Game Boy. Don't know where it went. Maybe it got stolen. A lot of my stuff got stolen. I remember my Nintendo 64 getting stolen, but that's another story for another day. Yeah. Life was so much easier back then. Now that I'm looking, remembering it. Times changed drastically, and damn, how I missed those times. I didn't have many friends back then. In fact, I don't think I had any, but I did have the games. I had my Pokemon. I did have my imagination, and most importantly, I had my best friend, my sister. Yeah, she grew up not really into the same things as me outside of music, but I do appreciate those moments, those precious moments. You know what I'm talking about? Just the simpler life with your sibling. Those moments were great. Times that I'll always cherish forever. Anyways, this is the brief story of my time playing Silver and the bit of blue version that I had. I wish I had photos of those times. I wish I could tell you the nicknames I gave my Pokemon and even the teams, but I cannot remember them too well. Considering after I beat Silver with Typhlosion, I played again with Chikorita instead. Unfortunately, didn't get to finish that playthrough, but I do remember getting to Whitney and beating her on my first go with that team. I remember it because it made me super freaking happy that I beat her on my first try. God, how I wish I could remember the teams I had. All I've gotta say is thank you to my neighbor for introducing me to Pokemon. The neighbors were real kind to us, especially when my younger sister had an issue. She had some sort of seizure or something. I don't remember, but her eyes turned white and she was just uncontrollably um, shaking. Till this day, I don't even know what it was. But it was beyond scary, and I had to stay with my neighbors while my mom went to the hospital with her. Anyways, I'm so glad she wasn't hurt and she's doing well now. If you're watching, I love you, Janili. I love you too, Yonaida. And of course, I love you too, Mabel. Always and forever. That's it. That's enough for this episode. Tomorrow's another day of us waiting on Ghost Eevee. Stay up, Ghost Force. Let's continue to hope for the Ghost Eevee. Okay? I am. Until then, make sure to smile and enjoy life as best as you can. Even when it's cloudy and rainy, the sun still exists beyond the cloudburst. Anyway, catch you all later. Peace!